Member from Berkeley Valley Skeen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I would like to recognize the resilience and strength of the people who, under the most difficult conditions, set forth to explore and develop our Northwest communities. People who, with faith and strong convictions for a better life, headed north in 1898. Discovery of Stewart as a mining camp was offshoot of the Klondike Gold Rush, although the regions are several hundred miles apart. Stewart is tucked away at the head of the Portland Canal in northwest British Columbia near the bottom of the Alaska Panhandle. When the rush to find gold in the Klondike was at its height in 1898, several companies were formed by enterprising promoters who claimed they had found gold. A man from Seattle named Burgess set out with 67 men and chartered a steamer named Discovery. Provisions for several months, 26 horses, and camp outfits were in the hold. There was difficulty in discharging passengers and the cargo because the 2 last miles to shore was a tidal flat, which made the muddy and treacherous walking for the men. When they arrived at the destination of the Bear River Valley, it was still deep in snow. For days, the party stalled with their horses on Bunko Point until it was decided to set out on foot for the long hike to the Nass headwaters. They crossed a glacier and 40 miles from the beach reached a large lake now called Maziaden. Although this first attempt to find the placer gold was not as successful as they had hoped, some of the men left. The next year, in 1899, Mr. D.J. Rainey, who had experience in lode mining, built a cabin on 40 acres and prepared for a season of prospecting. Often when staking a claim, he did not know whether he was in Alaska or on Canadian soil, so he filed his claim papers on both governments' recorders. Among the first was a family of 4 brothers named Stewart from Victoria. They staked claims in several acres of flat land adjoining Rainey. A full-fledged stampede gathered force, and in a few months there were 46 mining companies in the territory. One was the Portland Canal Mining Company, a development company, a few miles up Bear River. Here they had a mill with a capacity of 75 tons of ore a day. At that time, the boundary between Alaska and British Columbia was disputed, and some maps showed Bear River Valley on the American side. When the boundary line was finally established in 1905, the Stewarts had their land surveyed into city lots. Many sold readily as mining and prospecting flourished. The 1/4 of the town site retained by the province bought $430,000 at auction, and the boom at Stewart was known on the other side of the Atlantic. The population hit 10,000. This is the struggle of the North. We have opportunity for prosperity and growth. There is a reason that the Northwest is called the Golden Triangle. This is what happened over 100 years ago, and we can have this prosperity again. This is a tribute to all the miners that came, and many lost their lives. Let us not forget the contribution that mining has played to this province. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.